Let's take a big breath in and reach it up. Make yourself as tall and long as you can through your spine, stretching through your sides. And then let's gently start making those circles, finding that mobility in the shoulder socket through the rib cage, keeping your spine nice and long, and it's reverse direction. And we'll bring our hands down to our shoulders, or around our shoulders, hug those elbows in, and then push them way back. And then let's take our arms out and pull our shoulder blades together so your arms are pulling back, and we'll make our tiny little circles. And flip your thumbs back. And let's roll that arm in the socket. And noticing where the crunchies are today. Make that movement as big as you can. Yes, that was a wind seesaw. And let your arms come down. Let your arms come forward and back. Rolling our shoulders. 3, 4, 2 more. And then push it all down. Take your nose, leading with your nose. Try to bring your chin down towards your chest. And then leading with your nose, extend your neck all the way up. Let's do it. 3 more of these. Down and up. 2. And 1. Come back to neutral and we'll look over our shoulder. So every time, look, see if you can look just a little bit farther over that shoulder. Good. A little bit of ear to shoulder. You can go at your own pace, of course. Just check in that you're not lifting your shoulder to meet your ear. And we'll twist it out again. We'll go this way. And let's bring our hands on our hips and check in with how our lower body is doing, popping our hips out side to side. And hula hoops. Find your pinchy spots, find your tight spots. And reverse. Check in that you're getting the same amount of movement, if you can, in both hips. Might feel different, but you want to get the same amount of movement. Go. And let's go into figure eights. And reverse direction. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down to our knees. 3, 4. And reverse. 3, 4. Okay, let's plant one ball of your foot on the floor. Circle out your ankles. We're about to set up my little clock. Make sure you're going in both directions. And let's go over to the other side. And if you have a fitness tracker and you haven't set that, this is a good time to do it. And let's take our legs out nice and wide. Let's go side to side. Think about pushing your hips back and down like you're trying to sit on a little stool. The outsides of your feet should stay in contact with the floor, so we're not rolling up as we go. There's a lot of torque on your knee. And come to center. And we'll stretch out the back a little more because whose back couldn't use a little more stretching? 7, 8. And let's sink it down. And just glide side to side, shift your weight. And we'll finish with 5 squat stands. So let's lift up, stand, so fold, squat, reach, and stand. That's 1. Fold, squat, reach, stand is 2. Squat, reach, stand is 3. Remember, fold first, then come into your squat. Good. Let's shake it out. And we'll get set up for our first bit of work. We are in our last week. We are going to start with bands. The whole first section is bands, so have as much variety of bands as you need for doing lower body and upper body. It's our last week. And then public service announcement, next week I am off. So for anyone here who watches later who's having trouble working up to doing the full workout or doing as many reps, you have 1 more week to get it right or to go back in the library and do those other workouts that we've got. So let's start with a heavy band around our ankles. And come to one side of your workout space. Sink our hips back and down. And we'll step for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll go the other way for 10, 9. Lead with your hip. 8. You can even put your hand on it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nobody's watching you. Shake it out. Let's go for 8. Make sure your knees and your toes are working in the same direction. Sometimes people will turn their toes the direction we're going. And 8 back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoop. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 4 to the side. 2, 3, 4, and 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go for 2 and 2 back, and 1 and 1. Let your hips shake out for just a little bit. We're going to reset. We're adding on today. It's our last week. We're going to do 5 monster steps forward and then 5 backwards. So we're working through quads and hamstrings a little bit more. So we're going to step out and wide. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Let's do it again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's wrap the band around the top of our feet. You can wiggle your hips out. And let's lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switching sides. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, little pause. We're going to point that toe down and push back for 10, 9, 8, 7, staying tall. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switching sides. So we're not getting that movement from bending over. You're staying tall, pushing through your hamstrings and glutes. 6, 8, 9, and 10. Let's take that heavy band off. So hopefully you have a variety of bands. If you've been working with greens, maybe you've tried to give it a go with blue. If you've been using blue, give it a go with black. It's not how much movement you get with the bands, it's the quality of the movement you get. So let's pick up a lighter band and we'll go right into our arms. We're going to go through all of this again. Lucky you. Lucky us. Because we're strong and we can do it. So roll our shoulders back and down. And let's go for 10 pull aparts. So arms stay pretty much straight, maybe elbows slightly bent. But the pull is coming from your back. So think about what your shoulder blades are doing. Let's go for 10 bicep curls just to break things up. 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll do little pulses. The lighter your band, the more movement you get. The heavier the band you have, the less movement you get. It's okay. Pull back over your head as far as you can and then start bringing that band down. And we'll do that one more time. And bring it down. Little pulses. Now we're going to come up over your head and hold it there. And we're going to pull down behind your neck and down in front. 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. 6. So if you're having trouble doing that particular move, you might want to choose to do the lightest band that you have. That also means you're probably super tight through the chest and you can't pull back and down. And so getting into this position, walking through a doorway, holding your hands on the jamb and working on opening that up will help make it quite a bit easier. Grab a drink of water. Let's put on our band. We're going to go through that one more time and then we move on. So heavy band around your ankles. If it doesn't feel good around your ankles, you have the option of putting it around your knees. A little bit easier having it closer to your hip, a little bit harder, farther away from your hip. So let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And over for 8, 7, looks good. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Check in with your hips. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wiggle it out. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back over for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're almost there. Stay with me. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ow, ow. 4, 3, 2, 1. I see your faces. 2, and 1. Ooh. Okay, keeping the band right where it is. Let's do 2 sets of monster walks, keeping your feet nice and wide. You're stepping wide, not just forward. You're stepping out to the side and pushing forward. And back, 2, 3. And one more time, forward, 2, 4, 5, 6, and back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looping the band. This is really hard with the black band. Looping the band over your feet. Let your hips wiggle them out. Shake your legs out. We're going to go for 10 lifts. 2, getting the hip flexor and the quads more fired up. 10, and switching sides. Try not to let the tension off your band. It's easy to do this, but you want tension both directions. 7, 8, 9, 10. Give your hips a little pause, and we'll get your hamstrings. So bending your knee, pointing your toe down, and pushing back. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch sides. 2, and 10. Let's put that heavy band away. Go for something a little bit lighter. Ooh-wee. Let's pop those hips out side to side. Make sure they're still attached and working. There we go. And let's get the band around our wrist. We'll do our upper body one more time, and then we move on. Hooray. Rolling your shoulders back and down, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Let's pull that band apart. 10. And let's do those little pulses going up. See how far you can reach back without having to arch your back. Getting that shoulders all warmed up. We've got push-ups in the next set. And one more time, up. And down. Cranking up those bicep curls. Keep pulling on the band. Don't pretend it's not there. And then from here, we're going to reach up. We didn't do this before. And pull in for a row. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then let's do something different. Let's turn our hands palm up. And you keep your elbows tucked into your side and pull apart. So a little bit of external rotation. 6. Okay, let's put the band down. Shake your arms out. Shake your shoulders out. Twist, move. Whatever you need, grab a drink. We're going to take about 40 more seconds before we think about getting down on the floor. We have push-ups. We have one-arm rows. And windmills. How did I forget that one? Another 10 seconds. Check in with how your hips are doing. You can hug them in. Try some butt kicks. And if everything is still attached, I'm feeling a little tired, but generally good. Let's come on down on the floor. We're doing 8 push-ups. Any flavor you want. You can do the better push-up from your knees or from your toes. You can do a strict push-up where you're just lowering yourself down and pushing yourself all the way back up from your knees or your toes. Or we can try doing some power. If you're doing a power push-up, you will do less than 8 repetitions. We can go for like 6. I think everybody can go for 10 regular push-ups. But a power push-up is a little different. You can make them full or 1 1/4. They go down slow, 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 slow. And then pop yourself up as fast as you can. So let's get going. Any flavor of push-up you want. And when you're all done, rock back into child's pose. And then we're going for a 1-arm rows. We've been building these all month. We've been working on these for however long you've been with me because I love it. This is one of my absolute favorite moves. And this month I told you I was challenging myself. We're going to go for 3 sets of 30 and see if I make it through 3 sets of 30. I'm going to start on the other side, non-dominant. It's been a while since I've looked at this. Oof. So let's go for 12 to 15 reps on each side. 1, 2, 5, 6. And when you finish one side, see if I can see what everybody's doing. Go back to the other. There's no need to pause. Every time you switch sides, you're giving the side that worked a rest. So 11, 6, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Carefully put your weights down. Swing your arms out. Give yourself a big hug. Let your back round. Those muscles stretch. Let's roll our shoulders. Every now and then my weights get rearranged. That's the challenge to find it. So grab a lighter weight. We're going to do a little bit of shoulder stability. And if you're pushing it with the push-ups and pushing it with the 1-arm rows, your shoulders are really going to feel it. So it's okay to go light and focus on finding the stability where you need it. So standing forward, we're going to turn our feet. If you're mirroring me, it would be to the right. Weight gets racked in the left. Let your shoulder float up so it's close to your ear, and then hug it back down. So you're pulling your shoulder blade down your spine. And let's take that left hip out all the way down and up. You don't need to touch the floor. You just need to look up at the weight and make sure it's not wobbling. So you're going to go as far as your particular mobility allows. We're only doing 6, so I have 2 more. Bring the weight down carefully, always. And we'll go the other way. So your feet are going to turn to the left, rack the weight in the right, pull it up, suck that shoulder down, create that space. And let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring the weight down. And we'll take about a minute and a half here. Just let your back and your shoulders absorb the work. Shake things out. Stretch what feels like it needs to be stretched. It could be, you feel like dropping into child's pose, which is fine. You want everything to be feeling good, so let those muscles settle into the work that they're doing. Got my tea, got my water, had my dog, had my whole universe in the room with me today. So about another 30 seconds or so. Round and lengthen. Lengthen. Or maybe just drop into a forward fold. Let everything stretch and relax. Maybe it feels good to shift right and left. And then let's come all the way down on the floor. And we'll set up for round 2 of push-ups. Again, any flavor, we're going for 8. 3 sets of 8s, 24 push-ups. It's a good way to start the morning. So better, strict, power, or 1 1/4. Which I forgot we had done last week. 2. Oh, stretching back into child's pose feels so good. On my last one, hooray. And hold it back in child's pose. And move your body organically, get the stretch where you need it. And as we go into rows, remember this is the last week. Whatever size weights you have, I'm just going to remind you that weights are additive. If your hands can grip them and hold them together, you can put your 3s together and get a 6 on one side, you put your 8s together and get a 16. Challenge yourself. We're going for 12 to 15. Nine, 10. And when you're done on one side, just go right into the other. Let's see if I can see what people are doing. Looks good. Let's go. 2, nice. 3, 4. 9, 10. Whew, 11. I'm done at 12. How are we doing? Still working. Take your time. Form is everything. The heavier you go, the slower you might get, for good reason, right? You don't want to rush and do something too suddenly with a heavy weight in your arm. Pull a muscle. Okay. So quick little stability, 6 on each side. I'm going to start opposite side. So be in your right hand, rack up to the right, turn your toes to the left, and we'll go for 6. Make sure when you look up, your weight's staying up to the ceiling. 6, and bring it down. So shoulder stability, you gotta focus on where that shoulder blade, your scapula is. Pull it down, hold it in place. It's pretty much floating there, embedded in muscle. 3, 4, 5, 6. If you can't control the muscles around the shoulder blade, you're gonna have a hard time controlling the movement of your shoulder, the whole shoulder complex. Your, can't talk today. The humerus, the shoulder socket, the rotator cuff, clavicle, all has to work together to play nicely. You can't control your shoulder blade, the scapula, everything else becomes much more challenging and you're more likely to get injured. Okay. We'll take about a minute here, grab a drink. We have one more set and then we'll do our C's, which are on the floor, rolling around, very little shoulders. So let's see how we can push it this time. Okay, it's the last time you're doing this particular set with me. It's the last time you're doing push-ups with me watching you. Well, as best as I can watch you because everybody drops below their camera. Let's go for 8 of your best quality push-ups, any flavor you want. Just do them with great form and let's hit it. You can always change form in the middle if you're getting tired. 6. And when you're all done, you hang out in child's pose. Let your neck and shoulders relax, let your shoulders relax, back and your hips relax. Good, take your time. Okay, so I'll hang out here for about a minute because you're working your shoulders and your back when you're doing push-ups. It's not just chest and arms. So let's give those muscles a little break before we ask them to work. The set, we're asking them all to work really hard. You guys are stepping up to the plate and doing great. So stretch out what needs to be stretched. And I will give you a 15-second warning when it's time to get up. All right, let's take another 15 seconds. And start bringing yourself back to life. Rearranging your workspace. Last set of rows. We'll see if I get through. I've been doing 12s with my 30-pounders. See if I get through another 12. Oh, and exhale as you lift. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 2 more, 11, and 12. Setting up nice athletic stance. Go from one side right to the other. And 12. Carefully put your weights away when you're done. There you have it. You know, it feels really good to me right now is knowing that if I realize the weights are scrambling my ability to talk. I tried to pick up those 30-pounders in week 1. I'm not sure I would have gotten to 12. And if I had, I probably would have had a very sore back all month. So let's start non-dominant for you. So starting on the left side, turning your toes to the right, we'll rack the weight up. And if I could have done 30 pounds in week 1, 3 more. I doubt I would have gotten to 15 or 12 reps. So that's what progression looks like. I started with 20, ended with 30. And my back is tired, but it feels good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last windmill, ta-dum. Bring the weight down. And let's shake it out. Our next set is on the floor, as I said. We have back extensions, a plank variation, and our reverse crunches, our little hip lifts. So let's take a minute and just stretch out our back. Thank it for all the work it just did for us, for you. Maybe come into a deep squat, shift side to side. And just press your hands down into the floor and let your hips come up and let your back stretch. Take a couple of big deep breaths here. And then let's come down on hands and knees. We're still not going yet. We're going to stay on hands and knees and make some big restorative hip circles. 2, 3, we'll do 4 in each direction. And 4, let your back keep stretching. 3, 2, and 1. And child's pose, we'll stay here for about 20 seconds. And then we'll stretch forward into our back extensions. And I think try something a little different today. If your back is feeling good, if your shoulders are feeling all right, we'll set up the same way. And you can absolutely do your back extensions the way we have been doing with your head on your four hands. I want to try doing what I call breaststroke. So last week we can push our pattern a little bit. It's the same thing where we engage our feet into the floor, lift our knees and squeeze our glutes. And that's our anchor for our low back down to our toes. And we're going to start with our hands forward, lift up. Coco, settle down. My assistant coach is worried I'm going to have bad form. Now I don't know if you can see me. Hang on, Coco, we need to move. Come on. Over you go. There you go. Okay, so what we're doing is breaststroke essentially. So you're going to reach forward like you're shooting through the water. Lift up just a little bit through your upper back. So this is I position, Y position, T position. On W, you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together to lift. Big exhale and shoot through. So keep your neck nice and neutral and loose. We'll lift for I, Y, T, W, shoot through. I, Y, T, W, shoot through. Lifting with the upper back. Squeeze, shoot through. Last one. I, Y, T, W, shoot through. And relax. And then let's rock back into child's pose. Okay. And then we're going to come into our plank. We were doing side planks in the beginning and we switched to hip dips. So I think we're going to do the same thing today. So hands on the floor, you can clasp your hands. We'll stretch back into a plank. You want to think about squeezing your armpits in, squeezing your belly in, and we'll rock our hips to one side and the other. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And rock back into child's pose. I was laughing because my feet were slipping on the carpet. So with that one, you can play around with your feet being closer together or a little bit wider apart. It might feel more stable to be wider. That's okay, it still keeps the focus on the obliques. Now let's come onto our back. Here, you can get me and Coco. She doesn't know how to do this, so you'll have to forgive her. She can't demonstrate. So from here, we're going to go for 12 little lifts, like you're trying to drag a towel underneath your hips. I actually find it helps to pretend you're really dragging a towel under your hips. And when you're all done, hug your knees into your chest. And circle it out. Let your back have a little bit of a massage. I'm going to grab a quick drink and then we'll come back for round 2. Okay, so you saw the Eyes Wise tees are better, or dry land breaststroke is what I call it when we're doing that. Let's do one more round of that. If you're doing the breaststroke, let's go for 6 to 8 of them. If you're doing the back extensions, we're going for 10 to 12. The most important thing for both of them is that your legs are anchoring your body on the floor. So squeezing your legs together, squeezing your booty. Let's go. Eight, 9, 12. And rock back into child's pose when you are done. So your back has been going into extension. Child pose puts it into flexion. Okay, and for our second set, I think this is going to be our last set because we'll come into a stretch. For our plank variation, you can continue with those hip dips, or we can go from a front plank to a side plank and work and engage our obliques that way. It's our last week, so let's give ourselves a little bit more challenge. So you can do it from your hands or your elbows, and we'll start here. Rock yourself into the side plank, come back down, go up to the other side. Don't kick your dog. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's do one more each side. And come into child's pose. Whew, catch your breath. And we'll do our last set of hip lifts. So if you've been doing them with your knees bent and you can straighten your legs, try doing it with a straight leg where you're pushing your heels up to the ceiling. 2, and we're going to go for 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Big exhale each lift. And when you're all done, hug your knees into your chest. Make little circles or rock from side to side. Your back is done working. That's a good feeling, huh? Okay, let's see how this works with the dog in the way. Let's take our arms out to the side and our legs in tabletop. When you think about keeping your legs glued together, if I don't have my ball here, you could put a cushion or a pillow between your knees if that helps you squeeze things together. And what we're going to do is keep our shoulders down as we twist down to one side. Bring our legs up and twist down to the other side. Let's go side to side 2 more times on each side. So down. Get a nice stretch across the abs and the hips and the chest. Bring it up. It's a little bit of core work. Nice and slow and controlled. Don't let your legs just crash to the floor and your shoulders pop up. You're stronger than that. I know it. There we go. Bring it up. Last one. And bring it up. Good. Let's cross one leg over the other, knee over knee. So I have my left knee over my right knee. Let's twist down to the right and let the front and side of your hip open up. And we're just going to hold this. Oh yeah, my hip flexors remember what we did at the beginning of the workout, even though we weren't very leg heavy in the last 2 sets. The tendons never forget. And let's go up and we'll switch sides. So I'm crossing right over left. Ooh, twisting down to the right. Just let the weight of your right leg pull on your left leg so you get that stretch across the front and the side of your pelvis, hip, however you think of it. Then stretch our legs long, stretch our arms long. Come into a pencil stretch. Walk your feet to the left. Slide your hands to the right. To the left. Take a big breath in and let everything on the right side of your body expand and stretch, open. Do one more. And then we'll walk our feet back to center, arms back to center, and we'll take everything to the right. Ooh. Shoulders stay down, hips stay down. Take a big breath in, let your left side expand and stretch and open. And let's come back to center. Let's curl up into the fetal position. Let's give your shoulders and chest a nice big stretch. Open like a book. Use your bottom hand to hold your knees in place. Use your breath, especially those exhales. They're very powerful. Use that breath. Relax that shoulder down. If it wants to go. Some days it doesn't want to go. And then release your legs, come on up. Shift your weight around. We'll come to the other side and do the same thing. Knees are stacked, hips are stacked. Oh, the shoulder doesn't want to come down. Use your breath, see if you can ease into it. And let's work our way up to sitting. And sitting looks cross-legged, but it's not. I have one foot in front of the other. So this is more of a hip opening stretch. You're going to rock. So you're just on top of your sit bones. and hinge forward and walk your hands forward like you're reaching for that winning lottery ticket that's just out of reach. With every exhale, see if you can relax through the hips and the knees a little bit more. Stretch a little further through your back. Then slowly bring your hands back in, and we'll switch our leg position. So making sure you're up on your sit bones. Doesn't matter if your knees are up here or all the way down. Hinging forward with a flat back is going to start stretching those hips. And then rounding down. Working with your breath, reaching forward. Try one more exhale, see if you can reach just a little farther. Nice. I see that movement. Don't be afraid to try, especially if you're relaxing into a position sometimes. And some days it takes a little bit longer. Other days you just kind of flop right into it. It's not usually me though. I usually have to work into it. So good workout. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you here on Thursday and we'll wrap up September.